So, controversies in games. Yeah, sooner or later, I was probably gonna be doing one of these videos. Now, I've already did a videos about controversies in Pokemon, but why not kind of stretch the idea to cover gaming as a whole? Now, today I have picked 5 controversies in games I've had that have happened over the past few years. Now, obviously, I will be trying to cover any area of gaming. I will be covering some of the, well, more, I guess, reasonable controversies that we'll see later on this list, and I'll be covering some of the more stupider controversies to kind of poke fun at them. So, let's get into the video with my number 5 pick, the botched launch of Assassin's Creed Unity. The Assassin's Creed series has been going on, well, for about probably a decade and a half at this point. Now, while I've never really been a fan of this series, I've at least given a few of the games a try, including Unity. Of course, mind you, this was years after the launch, but when this game originally launched, it kind of became a laughingstock on the internet due to all the bugs surrounding this game. And the question is, did Ubisoft kind of learn their lesson and kind of have these games spend a little more time in the oven, or did they release another game a year later? Now, they released another game a year later, but it seems like they kind of took that lesson and started actually having these games spend some more time in the oven, as from what I've seen, Origins and Odyssey kind of seem like good games. But seems like history couldn't have repeated itself with the most recent one, Mirage. So, of course, let's get on to number 4, and as of course, PETA versus video games. How surprising. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals is an organization, well, pretty much made for the well-being of animals. Now, that's actually not a bad idea. I'm obviously always for the treatment of animals. I mean, animals, they're adorable, and, we need them on this planet. But going after video games is kind of stupid. Of course, I don't expect much from the same organization that has some really hilarious tweets on, well, Twitter. So, of course, what video games has PETA gone after? Now, these are the 4 ones I know about. First up is Battlefield 3. Now, aside from being, a extremely mid-game, Battlefield 3 had 2 memorable parts. This one dude named Dima, or Dimitri, who apparently was in Battlefield 4, and of course this one part where you gotta kill a rat in a tunnel or something. Like, I literally don't remember anything from this game, and I've played it like about a half decade ago. So, of course, without trashing more on Battlefield 3, yeah, PETA got mad about, the rat. Yeah, it's a quick time event, and apparently that upset PETA because a virtual rat in a video game got killed. Of course, mind you that Battlefield 3 is a game where you are kind of fighting a war, or at least a conflict, and there's plenty of people that kind of do die in this game. But yeah, I guess the virtual rat's more important. Of course, they've also gone after Super Mario with the Tanuki suit, Pokemon with a game called Black and Blue, and of course Animal Crossing back in 2020 with a stupid statement saying that we shouldn't keep fish in captivity. Maybe they should actually just be putting the time to use instead of just whining and moaning about video games all the time. Of course, then we wouldn't have more funny moments from them. So, of course, obviously at number 3, we of course have a stupid controversy. Well, a less stupid controversy with Pokemon deck set. Exit was, well, a thing that was going around at the same time, and if I recall correctly, I think it was like about the UK not wanting to be a part of the EU anymore or something. But of course, obviously this guy's name because all these games technically take place in the UK, well, the GLA region. And basically this controversy was that, there was no national dex in this game. Because mind you, this was actually when we had 900 something Pokemon. So honestly, it's kind of one of the more stupid controversies because, who the heck's ever gonna use all 1000 Pokemon? I mean, I get some of the anger. I mean, the DLC didn't help either with the reception of these games, but to be honest, I mean, this game still has 400 Pokemon in it, so to be honest, it's actually one of the more stupider controversies. But of course, moving on, well, we of course have loot boxes, microtransactions, and gaming. I can't really leave Battlefront 2 off this list because this game, wow, it had a really bad launch. Now, loot boxes in video games have very much kind of been a thing since, I want to say, I think Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And of course, this is also covering microtransactions too, as games like Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and various online games have been criticized for the inclusion of microtransactions. Battlefront 2 received the brunt of this because, in order for you to actually be able to unlock every character, you would either have to spend a lot of time playing the game, or you would have to pay real money to unlock them. And this garnered quite a lot of controversy, especially with the dumbest phrase ever, that the surprise mechanics, and it also led EA to have one of the most downvoted Reddit comments in history, and could have potentially brought real trouble, all just because of the game. Now, I am inclined to say that from what I've heard, the game has actually seen some really good days since its launch. I've actually played a bit of it. It's not too bad of a game. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. Never really, don't really click with Star Wars these days, or really haven't been for a while. But, I mean, this game could have had a better launch had it not stirred up so much controversy in its earlier days. And of course, last but not least, we of course have Persona 5 on the Xbox. The Persona series is a spin-off of the SMT series, which was, I think, a spin-off of another series, and the series was pretty much a PlayStation exclusive for the longest time. Now, there have been some games on the Xbox as well with Nintendo consoles. The original Xbox didn't have SMT9. The DS systems and 3DS systems did have a few SMT games, and the 3DS did have Persona Q and Q2, but it seemed like Nintendo was favored a bit more when compared to the Xbox. Of course, that was until 2022, because the Persona series dropped on the Xbox systems. Now, apparently this did garner some controversy with some fans because apparently console wars are still a thing, aka just, you have this console, I have this console, we're enemies now. Yeah, it's just a ton of cringe, and honestly, just let people play what games they want to. Personally, I'm all for this. I honestly think it's cool that Persona is on the Xbox, and I'm definitely more excited to see the release of Reload, but as usual, we always have people fighting over meaningless crap, and Persona 5 on the Xbox is kind of added to that. But these were some gaming controversies. I'll obviously be covering more of these. In fact, I actually have quite a few videos planned for these, because you won't believe how many controversies there have been in games, unless you actively follow gaming news. But until then, goodbye, and thank you all for watching.